Hello and welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know this is the official podcast of Geo Woodstock 18 right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Each week we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're waiting for the new video game to download, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Which, of course, means it's time to bring in our ordinary orangutan. Some say he is your friend in low places. And others say he spends date night with dried fruit. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hello, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Good to see you, my friends.
Catch above your fantasy. Bad dates.
Thank you very much.
Saved your life.
Dried fruit.
I need to bring you with me next time I'm in Egypt. That's for sure.
Yes.
All right.
Papers, yes, papers. I have them right here. Papers. Just finished reading them. Run.
Oh my goodness. Hey, tonight we are going to talk about how geocaching is for everyone. Everyone. And you know, a year after the pandemic was officially declared, it seems more people are playing this game than ever. And why? Well, because geocaching is for everyone. So we're going to discuss some thoughts on what that is. But first, a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. And I forgot to press the little button. I just got talking too quick.
Wow.
But you know what?
You jumped the sharks.
I did. Touche. Do you know what? Landsharks also has something for everyone, from newbies to experienced cachers. They've got all kinds of cool stuff in the store, whether you've been geocaching for 20 minutes or 20 years. So check them out online or at their store in Esquimalt, British Columbia. Chris, say Esquimalt for me.
Esquimalt.
There we go. Now remember that.
Sounds like a special shake that you can only get during a certain season. I'd like the Esquimalt, please.
There you go. Next time you see that word written, you now know how it's pronounced.
Apparently all in lowercase, too.
Yeah. Depends on who wrote it. But yes, absolutely. Thank you to Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. And if you want to know more about supporting this podcast, click that Patreon link right over there on the cachingnw.com, a website.
Now, you sure it's not in Coquitlam?
Hey, well done.
No, just in Esquimalt.
Nor is it in the Fraser Valley.
I don't know about IHAM. IHAM says many things about this podcast have gotten stronger over the years. Opening dancing isn't one of them.
Hey, we're only at 398 episodes. Give us a break.
That's right. And you tried to dance unique 400 episodes just using your arms. You can't see what we're doing. I could be doing a Irish jig down here. You don't know that.
I always assume you are, actually.
Yeah. And it's much easier without pants.
A lot more movement.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Talk to your therapist about that. Hey,
you're welcome, people. Hey, you know what? If you would like to participate in tonight's show, use #everyone to add any chat to tonight's topic. And you guys know how the chat lackey is. If you don't use the right hashtag, he's just not going to include it. You're out. Yeah. So #everyone.
He can be very picky.
He can. And you know what? It's his job. He can do that. All right. But also another favorite part of our show is the after show. So if you have a topic you'd like to discuss or share in the after show, use good old #FATAS.
FATAS. Hey, I have to share. Keats says I'm okay now. I've redeemed myself.
Well done.
Mm-hmm. And Seebeck Tribe says
Yeah.
just TMI.
TMI.
And followed by ooh.
Yeah. Ew. So you can now pronounce the names of the places that you still cannot visit.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? Before we get started, we've got a bunch of news to go through before we get into our topic. And one of the first that we want to share with you guys is we want to remind you that we just said we're at episode 398 tonight. We're almost at our 400th episode, and we have a really fun special episode planned for 400, but we need your help. So we want you to participate in the 400th episode. That's just in 2 weeks from now. So submit your questions to Stump the Hosts. Ask your questions at the link that we have in our social media. Those questions will be asked of the three of us in a live game show style fun episode. You can pick whichever host you want to cheer for and jeer for the others. And you can ask questions about the previous 399 episodes or any geocaching related questions. And here's the bonus for you, dear listener. We are going to randomly pick a prize winner from all the entries. So go add your questions today.
I'm sorry. Today on the website?
That's correct.
Okay. Gotcha. Can you believe today is the 1 year anniversary since the CDC declared this whole situation we're in a pandemic? It's been 1 year.
It's pretty
Indeed.
crazy.
Wow.
It feels like 4.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I
10,
know.
But yeah. Yeah.
I know. I mean, UDAC says geocaching related questions, correct? Well,
Absolutely. Or
geocaching or podcast.
You know what? Honestly, we're going to take any kind of questions that you put in.
Now, the key is you have to give the answer. So we know if we got it, so the judges can tell if we got it right. Otherwise, we know we got it right.
That's right. If you don't provide it, we're right.
Mm-hmm.
But good question. All right. So yes, 1 year today.
Yeah.
1 year today. Wow. I mean, so much has changed in just this 1 year. What was that? What's end?
I was just say 1 year ago this week, I was supposed to go to, Vancouver, BC for a dance festival. And didn't happen. It happened. I didn't make it.
Did they still hold the festival?
They did.
Wow.
It was like the last hurrah. Just as they rolled back across the border, I think the world closed behind them. It was, yeah.
No kidding.
So yeah. Yeah, I've not. It's been officially 1 year now since my dance club has met in person. So miss that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's been a lot of. It's been 1 year since for a lot of our listeners, I'm sure. I'd actually be really curious to hear from people without it maybe being too depressing for them.
Yeah.
But it's been 1 year since, because I think it gives you an interesting insight into the things that are important to people, right? And while we all have the geocaching game in common, there's other things that are important to us, and I think it's interesting to share sort of the human side of all of this together.
And it's not a total bleak outlook. There are signs that the end is coming. That end too, but
Wait a minute.
the end of
is
the
near.
end of the end is near. Things are starting to open back up.
Yeah.
The governor here in Washington State today announced that as of March 22nd, we're moving to a new phase, and they can open some things up a little more than they have been. They say they're going to allow fans at sporting events. So baseball season can open on April 1st with up to 9,000 people in attendance. And really, when was the last time 9,000 people went to a Mariner game anyway? So that's like, I would love to see as many as 9,000 people in the stadium.
There you go.
I mean, the only time there's more than 9,000 people in the stadium is when Toronto comes to play, and then they're all Toronto fans. But yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Wits End, I think you can agree with Utah Rock.
Yeah.
I feel the pain of missing dance.
Yeah, I've chatted with her at some geocaching outing and events that we've attended together way back in the before times, and talked about some of our dance experience. Need to drag her up to meet our dance club sometime and visit back when, looking ahead when we can meet again.
There you go. And I think that's one of the positives, right? And I saw Keats made a comment about that in the. There we go. COVID's really helped boost the geocaching population, and can't wait to meet some of this COVID contingent at an event when we're vaccinated. And I agree. I think that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is events um, and what I think what's going to be interesting. And can you pull up CRS98 just posted something?
I was going to say, because I was just thinking that when he verbalized or typed it out.
I think we're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So CRS98 says you do realize that new geocachers are completely unfamiliar with events, right? So he asked, how can we help get them to attend one when we can have one? And that is exactly where I was just about to go. So great minds think alike. And then there's another section to that saying. But anyways, yeah, and I think that's a really interesting point. And that's probably something we should do an episode about soon. I don't know how many new geocachers listen to our podcast, hopefully some, but it would be an opportunity for us to maybe explain events, how they work, and all that kind of stuff. So we should probably do that. But good point.
UDAC said it's been 1 year since I've gotten a haircut and had the car washed.
At the same
time?
time?
If you don't get your hair cut, you can use it to wash the car.
There you go. I have done both of those. Hasn't been quite a year since I shaved, but it's been close.
There you go. I shaved very recently.
I think I stopped shaving in July. So.
Wow. Well, it's looking good there, Bushman.
That's one word for it. I don't know if good is the right word, but it's looking something.
Lush. It's looking lush. All right. Hey, we've got some other stuff interesting, not necessarily specifically geocaching, but other interesting.
Santa-ish.
Oh, yeah. Well, there are 4 stages of life. I think I've told you this before, haven't I? There's the stage when you believe in Santa Claus. There's the stage when you no longer believe in Santa Claus. There's the stage when you are Santa Claus because you have children. And then there's the stage where you look like Santa Claus.
Well, speaking of Santa, which would be in December timeframe, something big in March coming up there, Jim.
Beware. Monday is the Ides of March.
What is the Ides
Monkey?
of March?
No, not the eyes of March.
Oh, okay.
That's beware the eyes of the totem. If you know what that reference is, let me know. I do. Beware the Eye of Mara. It's another place that's been closed for nearly a year. But the Ides, I-D-E-S, Ides of March, it's the 74th day of the Roman calendar. You know who knew that? Limax knew that, I bet you.
Of course he did.
I'm just going to guess that right out of the But it's the 15th of March, it's middle of March. It's marked by several religious observances of the years, but it's notable for the Romans as a deadline for settling debts. And then in 44 BC, it was a bad day to be Julius Caesar because
there was a serious debt settled that day.
Yeah, he was assassinated. It made the Ides of March a turning point in Roman history.
There you go.
So,
and thus beware the Ides of March.
March. It comes in like a lamb and goes out like a lion. Isn't that March?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so.
And my son's favorite joke is any salad can be a Caesar salad if you stab it enough.
That's right. Oh, there you go. Limax says, yes, I knew that. The 74th day this year.
Of course he did. That's awesome. Well,
I'm tracking with you, Limax.
There you go. Hey, speaking of things Limax knows, this coming Sunday is, we'll jump to what UDAC shared here. When we can have events again, I hope we don't scare off the newbies with our obsession. Well, we'll try and ease them in, but yes, good advice, UDAC. We'll try and remember that advice when we talk about events in an upcoming episode. But speaking of dates that Limax would definitely be aware of this coming Sunday. It's March 14th, 314. Here he goes. I've been waiting for him to put it in the chat. I was kind of just leading up for it. Whoops.
Too many people clicking it.
We all clicked it at the same time. Okay,
I'm not clicking anything.
I don't. I was reaching for my pie coin.
there you go.
Ah, look at that. Pi Day.
Pie
Of course,
day.
you should celebrate that at 1:59, of course.
Yeah,
I do.
yes, of course.
And you will need that pie, that sugar fix to help you out because it's also the day we mess up the clocks again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Government control over our lives.
Yeah. So it lands on Pi Day this year. Okay.
Mhm.
Excellent.
So, I'll meet you at 2:30 a.m. on March 14th. Good luck with that.
What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. GSM times 2 reminding us as well.
Yeah. Turn your clocks ahead. Don't be late for church.
Spring
That's right.
forward. Don't be late for online church.
Yeah. Or you can just go to YouTube and watch it again.
Watch the replay. I
Anytime.
was there.
Oh, no, I've registered this week. We're going in person this Sunday morning.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
There you go.
nice. Okay, so tonight, Mr. Monkey has said geocaching is for everyone. And if we've learned something about this game in the past year, it's that more and more people are willing to try it because I don't want to compare it to this, but they have nothing else to do. Okay. A lot of their options have been taken away, right? Going out to eat is no longer an option. Going to see family, even just hanging out at the mall, because, we all want to go to the mall, at least the Canadians do. And so all those things have been taken away, but you know what? Geocaching is really quite an easy thing to do during the pandemic. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with your pod, right? Be that your family, your roommates, whoever you are in a house with, unmasked.
Yes.
You can do it that, and with some good social distancing and adhering to the rules, you could go out with your friends and geocache.
There you go.
Because you're outside. Outside, they say, you can do just about anything.
Well, absolutely. And, when you were talking about things that have been taken away, it reminded me that you can't take the sky from me. So
That's right.
Yes.
You can boil the seas.
Yeah. Take me where I cannot stand.
Well, you're right, Chris. It's definitely really picked up. Certainly, we've all noticed the very large numbers of new people. But interesting, Limax here sharing that Piffle Bear's been having a great time going caching with them, and she already has 100 finds. So
Nice.
So there you go. So somebody was aware of the game, but it's like, as Chris was saying, I'm sure the scenario is, all right, I guess we'll go. Oh,
So
dear.
yeah, I was just reading that this is GSM times 2 says our reviewers are following local regulation, and those regulations vary widely from state to state and country to country, or even county to county. I just saw this week Texas has removed the mask mandate.
Mhm.
They still encourage you to wear a mask, but it's no longer going to be a finable offense if you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're opening up stores. I mean, people are going to grocery stores. The grocery stores are crowded. Costco, which I go to often, this week was very crowded, yet I'm still going there. Do I feel afraid and timid? Nobody's forcing me to. If I don't want to go, I don't go.
Yeah.
So.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, you don't have to go.
Okay.
Nobody's going to force you to go to Costco.
Wait a minute. I get forced to go to Costco at least once a month.
That's a different topic entirely.
The government isn't going to force you to go to Costco.
Yeah.
Family,
yes,
on the other hand,
regulations do change. They do vary from state to state, county to county, from Ethel to Karen. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the last person you want to run into in Costco is Karen. So.
Yeah, patron to patron. Not our patrons though. Our patrons are awesome.
Our patrons are awesome.
All right, but back to geocaching. There are a lot of new geocaches out there, as we've discussed, and let's just say that I was to coach a brand new geocacher.
Another brand new geocacher.
Yeah, another one. First of all, take pity on them because I am coaching them. But let's just say that I'm capable of that. What's the most important thing that I should tell them?
What would it
I
be?
don't know.
Well,
Get out and do it.
there you go. Well, I mean, you coached Chris when he was brand new to the game.
Yeah, but so was I.
And look how screwed up I am
I'm
now.
like, hey, check this out. Let's go find this thing. Yeah.
And we didn't find it the first time. The first one we looked for, we didn't find right away. But it was one of those things that just, itched in the back of my brain. I was like, it's got to be there.
It was
We've
laying there in
missed
plain sight.
Well, we're already getting some advice in the chat here from folks.
We'll start with Donners, who says it's a crazy addiction.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Brylang says sign the log
Oh, yeah.
and bring a pen.
Bring it back.
So those two kind of work together.
I see. Don't steal the cash.
I'm also going to point out that those first three didn't use the hashtag, so
Oh,
slipped under.
neither did Wet Coaster. This is bring a GPS device.
Yeah, but GSM times 2 did use the hashtag for bring a pen.
So did Trexer Zero.
So did
Yeah.
Trexer Zero.
Seek out favorite points.
That's what I do when I'm traveling. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Keats's. Don't overwhelm them with your obsession. Yeah, that's really good advice. I like Keats's. Don't steal the cash.
Don't steal
Leave
the
it.
cash.
Though, some people, the first time they may didn't need to know that, right? It's a hide and seek. So if I do that, say during Easter, right? You go hide an egg. You don't open up the plastic egg, take what's out, and then put the plastic egg back. You take the egg.
Well,
Sign the
that's
log.
So,
Oh, wait.
I mean, first, oh, wait, am I doing it wrong? So, there may be some coaching that says, you don't have to don't take the container, but do sign the log.
There you go.
Um,
Start Casher said bring multiple pens. I like that.
Yeah.
what about one pen with the multiple colors in it? Does that count?
I don't think that helps with the problem of losing your pen.
Oh yeah.
This was my favorite here. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest, where everything is made up and the hashtags don't matter.
Okay. So the
So-
rules changed. There you go.
Ari said, Brian said it. I'm going to say it again. You need to sign the log.
There you go.
Only if you want to log it online. If you don't care about logging it on the website, you don't have to sign the logbook.
There you go.
Just enjoy the fun of, my tip is to, go with Land Monkey or Chris of the
Mhm.
Northwest.
So here's some interesting advice from Three Hams in a Row. Says have spare shoes and a plastic bag in your Geomobile. He's stepped in dog bombs over 20 times now.
Wow.
And maybe a
Yeah.
towel in the back of your van.
Maybe
He's keeping track.
he's keeping track. Yeah, he's got chalk and he makes a mark on the inside of his van every time
Mm.
stinky shoes come in.
Brian says you're walking home next time. Yeah. Yeah, it's not chalk. Oh, take
Yeah.
a photo. That's a good tip.
Yeah. There you go.
Or better yet, okay, so you're a newbie, you probably don't have a replacement log. But you know what? Replacing the log would be a nice thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean that starts to become advice that you give people once they've been playing the game a little longer,
Yeah.
right? If we're talking about just like the most important thing to tell a new geocacher in this current day and age, have the app on your phone, and yeah, I think the bring a pen is definitely probably going to be the best advice because it's not something. And again, in this day and age, we don't think to bring pens with us when we go out.
Yeah. GSM times 2 said I had a new person log a DNF and then left a signed tennis ball.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if it was, like Venus Williams, then awesome.
Oh yeah.
but if not, then I don't know. That might be kind of lame.
It wasn't Venus de Milo because she has no arms.
It would be very hard for her to sign things or play tennis.
Kyle says I bring a full change of clothes, including shoes, because We go geocaching in the Pacific Northwest.
There you go.
Yes.
Indeed.
Take a flashlight and gloves for those yucky reaches.
The yucky reaches, indeed.
Mm.
Always lots of those.
This is great. And once again, we prove we don't really need show notes. We just need to ask a question
Yeah.
and let the chat run wild.
That's right. Thank you for writing the show for us again.
Here's a great tip, and this comes from GSM
Oh,
times
yes.
2. When geocaching with kids, stop before they are ready to quit.
Yes.
That
Right?
is some very sound advice.
I can't tell you the number of parks I went to with my kids looking for geocaches. And, it took me an hour to find that geocache or to get to ground zero eventually. I was like, okay, I'll wait. You know what? They need to. Yeah.
There's some great advice from Team Noltex
Yes.
to remind new cachers that the cache owner actually receives an email with a copy of your log. So write something more significant than the TFTC that you'll see everybody else has written.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, and
just a period.
If I'm correct in the way the email alerts work, if you go back and edit that log, the cache owner does not get a copy of that. So if you just write TFTC and go, I'm going to go back later and write something better, the cache owner may never see that if they don't go look at the cache page. So just wait and logs, write something nice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Nice.
Whoop. Wait, are we having a fight over the?
I'm not touching anything. So
I was just turning it off.
Okay. You Talks for Rocks says you need a pokey stick.
Yeah, that's handy.
Or, golf club.
Yeah, or a golf club.
Golf club works. Clubby.
Clubby
Stick.
The next piece of advice here sounds like advice from someone who's learned this lesson and wants to help others. 3 Hams in a Row says, have a selfie on your phone showing you at work or at the store. So when your wife asks where you are, just send her that selfie.
Okay. This does not reflect the views of the management of the podcast, but well played.
Too funny. All right.
I like this one from Dora
Great
Moore.
advice from Dora Moore, yeah.
Don't focus too much on the coordinates. Once you're within 5 meters or, 25 feet, 15 feet, just start looking.
Yeah. That's really good advice. Absolutely. All right. Okay. So, moving along. So we've talked about tons of great advice there, you guys. So tons and tons of great advice there for us to give to. Sorry, I just saw the comment from Gearhead in response to 3 Hams in a Row. And I got to interrupt. He says, "Your plan works, 3 Hams in a Row, until your wife finds your shoes."
Well, there's that. Best laid plans and all that,
Or Limax says, my girlfriend always knows when I'm out caching. I come home with sticks in my hair.
There you go. Oh,
yeah. I would suggest being honest, straight up.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to say, hey, I was out caching. I just love this thing. It's a lot of fun.
The great
Rather
thing
than
about being
saying,
honest is you never have to remember what you lied about.
That's true.
That's true. All right. Well, we've got tons and tons of great advice there. But also once people get into the game and they start playing, one of the first things they want to do is, I want to hide a cache, right? There's plenty of examples of great caches and some good caches and some not so great geocaches out there. I look back at the ones I've created and placed over the few years I've been playing, and I think some of them I think, oh, I kind of wish I'd rather done this. But I think it's okay to place caches and, and maybe they're not the greatest, like to at least try placing some. And as long as you're learning as you go, and hopefully other cachers will, and this is, again, one of the beauties of events, right? Because you can pick up great advice from other cachers on what they like to find in your area, what works, what doesn't work. So, for me, I hope that I'll continue to learn and the cache containers and cache hides will get better over time. But I think that's one thing that's really helpful for for people to think about is, if you're new to the game, is it's okay to just go ahead and try and hide something as long as you follow the guidelines. Um, you know, listen to the reviewer and the feedback the reviewer gives you on your hide. Um, and if it didn't work and, maybe it gets muggled, archive it, try something different.
Mhm.
It's okay. They don't have to last forever.
Right. I was chatting with a hider just this week. I went to go find his hide and it was missing. I was like,
Ah,
oh man, that's, the third time. And I've tried this and I've tried that. And I'm like, well, maybe instead of, what you've done, he was putting an ammo can out there and he said there tends to be homeless people and they see the ammo can and they say, that's a great container. I want to have that container. I'm like, well, maybe go something a little smaller that can be camouflaged better.
yep. And some great advice from GSM times too. Hide what you like to find. So find enough geocaches so you know what you like to find, and then hide something like that. I think that's great advice.
That's right. Because then that's something that you're excited about. Oh, I remember finding this. This was fun. So yeah, not everything has to be a lamppost cache or a guardrail cache. But those caches have their places.
Yeah.
I need a map page. I need a find today. I need, there's different things that, oh, that's quick and easy. I can go do that. So, I don't discourage people from doing that.
No, but the value is then, maybe you like to hide the guardrail caches and the first few you hide are just pill bottles and the guardrails. But then you're like, and then you start to get creative and you can try, you found some other caches and you're like, I wonder if I could fit that into a guardrail. And then you can start to, make it a little more fun. But like a giant rubber spider tucked into the guardrail.
Yeah. Or build your own guardrail and put it out somewhere.
I was going to say, I found a huge chunk of pipe inside the post of a guardrail that I rolled up thinking, oh, this is going to be standard guardrail cache. Nope. So every now and then something surprises me.
Which is cool. I like that.
And, I've reached into a wasp nest at the end of a guardrail. So, you just never know what you're going to find. It's exciting.
Caching's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
The barriers to entry of geocaching have come way down over the years. When I first started playing this game, I remember, how much work it took to go out and get ready to find a cache. First of all, you had to have a GPS or a friend with a GPS.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wits End. And then we printed out the pages, the cache pages. Right. Then I came up with a system that I used with GSAC to put in the terrain and difficulty into the name of the cache on my GPS, so I could at least know that when I was out and about. But I mean, it's tough. It was tough in the old days. You had to be prepared. It just wasn't something that, hey, I'm done shopping a few minutes early. Let me see if there's any caches about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now you can download the free app, go find a couple of caches, see if this is something you like, and jump in. Of course, we would suggest the more powerful paid apps, but you know what? Geocaching is free.
There you go.
I said that out loud, didn't I?
Ish. Free-ish.
It's okay. Your wife didn't hear it. It's okay.
No. That's like they saying podcasting is free.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, right along those lines, I see in the notes here, it says that think the best advancement in the game of geocaching since I started, well, it's nothing. It's all gone downhill. It's not as good as when I started, you young whippersnappers. You don't know how easy you have it now. We worked hard and we liked it, doggone it. No,
we didn't wear shoes and we walked uphill in the snow both ways.
We stepped in those doggy-doo piles.
barefoot.
And we were okay
and we
with that.
liked it.
Yes, the warmth gushing through it. Never mind. This is going downhill fast. But right along what you were saying, it's controversial, love it or hate it, but I think the best advancement is probably that smartphone app, that barrier of entry. Because I do remember printing out all the caches I was going to look for in the local area, and my weird Frankenstein hacked together GPS thing with a Dell Axim Pocket PC with Mapopolis,
Which I was jealous of.
Yeah, I still like Mapopolis. It was, it may be just my memory, but I liked it. It wasn't the easiest thing. It was clunky. It didn't always work right, but we made it work, and we had fun, and we had fun doing it with friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been fun for me to go out. But other than the obvious answer to the best advancement of geocaching is Caching in the Northwest podcast.
Well, yeah. Well,
we didn't listen to any podcasts when we were starting out.
Not at all. No, I didn't float in the pool or this, none of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
But yeah.
There you go. But yeah,
Yeah, sometimes Stu says, well, okay, Wits End just talked me out of liking geocaching.
It's good. You're not supposed to like it. You're just supposed to do it, doggone it. Okay.
And he also says, if you're talking to a new geocacher, don't do a Chris of the Northwest. When I was a newbie.
Back in my day.
When I was dumb like you are.
Yeah, get off my lawn, young new geocacher type guy. Get lost.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Gearhead says, before paperless caching. I don't miss that part. Well, come on. You had a binder in the back of your car, right? With all the caches.
We used to dream of having a binder.
There's more of a hole in the back.
That's right.
All I could take is a slate, and with chalk, I would write down the details.
Yeah, that's
and
not
when I
chalk.
found that one, I could erase my slate and go do another.
That wasn't chalk. Okay.
I had to go to HQ in Seattle and ask them to print out the next geocache for me.
Could you please, sir, just one more?
Please, sir, may I have another?
Brian got really tired of me very quickly. Yeah. Anyways, I all the fun aside there. Oh yeah, GSM times two. He says he thinks the best advancement are in events, the mega events, gig events. That's a great suggestion. Mm-hmm. I feel like perhaps to me the best advancement, even though I don't use it as much, is the apps. The ability for us to, as we've been joking around, but also partly serious of starting the game and having to, have a GPS or printed off paper and, figure things out. Now you get the apps are so advanced now, and you can just get, as Chris said, the barriers to entry are right down on starting the game. So I think that's a great advancement of the game as well. And
it's people. I mean, we joke about events. I said geocaching with friends. It's just connecting with other people and getting out and doing it. The podcast brings some really great people into the chat every Thursday night. Brings some maybe some questionable people here on the screen.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
But the awesome people are in the chat.
There you go. They are.
And they're really my friends. I consider you all my friends. If one day we'll be back out on the trail and run into each other and like, oh yeah, it's so good to see you again.
Yeah, scroll back up in the chat. One of the early quotes, one of the early comments was, "Hello, Thursday friends."
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And TSM times two do a callback on some of the discussion from earlier. Says, and then Moses came down from the mount with 10 geocaches on tablets. Then he slipped in dog bombs and had to go get 10 more.
Oh, that's two. That was binary there. 2 geocaches on tablets.
Okay.
Yeah. These 15, 10 geocache hides.
Oh, too funny, you guys. Too funny. All right. Hey, another advancement in the game, I don't know if you'd really call it an advancement because they've been around for quite a while, but the idea of containerless or virtual caches, I think add a really interesting flair to the game. And not, if someone's brand new to the game, they may not really understand what a lot of those are about. And certainly virtual caches and webcams, there's not too many of those about these days. Earth caches, there's many more, and they are the best type of geocache. But
That was subtle.
yeah, I know. Thank you. But also with the advent of adventure labs now, that's a whole. Now it's in a separate app, but it's kind of still part of the game because they count. But anyways, there are all types of geocaching finds that you can make that you don't need to touch something. So they've certainly picked up in popularity in the past year due to the idea that you don't need to touch a container or a log sheet that someone else has touched. But there's other reasons that containerless or virtual type geocaches are great. I really obviously I really love earth caches, but the virtuals and the webcams are also really cool in one way because they're grandfathered types. So it's kind of fun when you're traveling somewhere. Remember when we could travel places, but to look for those, like to make that sort of a highlight of where you're going. So they're neat. I still find webcam caches fun. I think it's a neat idea. I've always enjoyed those. Virtuals and earth
Just
cache.
because of their uniqueness.
Yeah.
There aren't that many of them. So that makes them special.
Their uniqueness, but also the principle of what you're doing. Like I have to get to a certain set of coordinates and then try and figure out where's the camera.
Yeah.
And then get me on my phone. And I don't know. I find that fun.
Back in my day, you used to have to phone a friend. You couldn't pull the camera up on your phone while you stood there.
That's right.
It's true, actually.
Yeah.
The first few webcam caches we had to do it that way as well. And so, on more recent road trips to be able to do it on our phone has been wonderful.
Yeah.
And they still caught on.
Yeah.
With all that work involved in the
know.
early days.
There you go. But I think one of the cool things about webcams, but definitely virtuals and earth caches, and now somewhat with adventure labs, is they generally take you to some pretty interesting spots. So it's not, geocaches often also take you to interesting spots, but often it's just, you're walking along a trail or a path or whatever, and you're going to detour to the side every couple 100 meters and look for a container. And that's fun too. There's nothing wrong with that. But generally a virtual or a webcam, a virtual or an earth cache is going to take you to something pretty unique. And so that is an aspect of the game that I think is really great. And again, probably something that newer cachers would need to be coached on somewhat.
That's right. And, we've seen some great advancements in the game in these last several years. We've had a geocache on the International Space Station, one down in the depths of the ocean, trackables that move back and forth from space and here and there and everywhere, billions of miles on trackables.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's trackable on Mars. So, gentlemen, where do you think the game is heading next?
Utah. Oh, no, wait. I don't know.
I have to wonder with the emphasis that's been on, so with the Mars 2020 mission and getting the trackable on the rover, etc. I am aware that there's also a lot of emphasis on getting back onto the moon.
Artemis
Mhm.
program and stuff.
The Artemis program. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wondering if the next big thing in the game is going to be something on the moon. And I'm wondering if there will be a physical geocache placed on the moon. I'm wondering if that'll be the next really big thing. Yeah, UDAC says the moon. There you go.
Yeah. Everyone knows the moon's made of cheese. That's right.
That's my thought. Anyways. Moon cache.
That's good.
Moon cache. Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know. I think the virtuals have caught on, when I say virtuals, the containerless caches like Adventure Labs have really caught on, and that may be the way it's going, right? If they can eliminate the distance, the 521 feet distance between, you know, maybe that'll be the way it goes. I don't know. It's kind of like reading a book, right? I still want the physical pages. I still want to be able to sign a log. But there are times it's kind of nice just to go out and get something virtual. Yep, I got it. Move on. Especially in populated areas.
Well, I was going to say there are places that just don't lend themselves well to physical caches. And that's where these adventure labs and virtuals work really well.
Yeah, for sure.
Like some nice Wensleydale.
Wensleydale?
Who doesn't like
Zoom-
Wensleydale?
That's right.
Zoom caches for virtual events.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I think once we get
virtual event caches.
Yeah, I think once we're allowed to get back out in person, nobody's going to want to go anywhere near Zoom for a long time.
Oh man. Yeah, I think we're zoomed out.
I would agree with that. And the amount of virtual meetings I need to do every day for work. And the funny thing is, even when I go into the office now, and I go into the office 2 to 3 days a week, even when I go in the office, I have to spend half the day or more on Zoom meetings because damn it, nobody else is in the office.
We had a department Zoom meeting on Monday.
Why? Because you're there.
Yeah. And there were five of us in the shop, but we were all on our own computers on Zoom because the rest of the team was all remote. Yeah. So
Yeah, even if there's 1 or 2 people, you've all got to meet that way.
Yeah.
If there's 1 or 2 people remote, you know, that
Depends who they are.
forces kind of forces the issue and makes the virtual meeting happen. So I don't know.
You're not here.
There are times it's nice. It's quick and easy. You could just do it. But
yeah,
Ari disagrees with me. If you want purely visual,
how about purely virtual?
or
there you go.
early victuals.
Just do waymarking. And well, I had a bad experience with waymarking. Let me say,
waymarking didn't grab me, but I don't think Chris's point was that things are going to go purely virtual, even if he can't say it.
But I think Ari makes a really good point as well, though, right?
Yeah.
They're virtually unavoidable.
That the virtual type caches are great and they serve a niche, just like we were saying earlier, right? Like there's all types of different hides, there's all types of different caches, and they all serve a different niche. But I still want to go and find a physical cache that at the end of the day, I enjoy that.
Starcasher says, I hope they'll revisit the newer challenge rules and relax them a bit for situations where a checker can be written for.
Oh, yeah, because there are, I see what Starcasher is saying. There are some scenarios where you could technically write a challenge checker for something, but it still won't be allowed as a type of challenge cache because of some of the other parameters they've put around them. Yeah, I don't know. I think they were just trying to put some sort of box around the idea of challenge caches, and to, obviously they put a moratorium on because HQ was getting a lot of complaints.
So. Sorry, I just chuckled because Braylang said, is waymarking still a thing? And well, there was a response from Ari that said, yeah, it's still clunking along with its 5 users. So,
every time they go to reboot the servers at HQ, they're like,
I
guess we got to turn that one back on.
We're going to get email.
Still a few users in there. Okay.
Too funny. Oh, that was funny, Ari. All right. Well, guys, what do you think? We get through it all?
I think so. I know a couple of people that really picked up waymarking a year ago, right? When, do you remember there was a big deal that Cachely could, set a marker on caches at the lonely caches or 3 weeks or more, right? That you could set that and go, okay, now it's been 3 weeks since it's been found. It should be safe to go and touch.
I do vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So Cachely has that option to, set your lonely cache date, or lonely cache time frame. But waymarking, I think, filled the bill for some people early on. So, at least 4 of the 5 are probably, from the start of the pandemic, 4 of the 5 users. 4 out of 5 waymarkers would say this is okay.
4 out of 5 waymarkers, no dentists.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, it's always fun to reminisce and to know where things are going, but really what we want to say is welcome the new geocachers into the community. Maybe you're just meeting them through a Zoom, right? Or you're meeting them through the message center. Be friendly, invite them in, mentor them as best you can.
Yeah.
Or they made a dumb log on your cache.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I see you're new to the game.
I've had a few of those recently.
Yeah.
Let me give you some.
Let me tell you how it's done.
And when we can meet in person, go out caching with them and show them some, tips in person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're caching in the woods, find the cache first and then find a tree to pee on.
Also very good advice.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Folks, thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
Yep. And I want to take a moment to thank Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. If you haven't already, subscribe to their newsletter, find out about the new products that come out, and you'll find out first, and any other big news that's going on with Landsharks. You'll find it out first if you subscribe to their newsletter. Remember, Landsharks with the Z.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online, and they are shipping online orders daily. We also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That is, of course, Landsharks, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cachly, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link over there on the cachingnw.com, a website.
Patreon link, like Kennel Barb did.
And Alaro Brick.
And Utox to Rocks.
Good old Wino Seattle.
GSM ×2.
Antaeus.
Sprouter.
Segehov.
The Broncos fan for life, speaking of Utah.
Kitty Quest.
Just finding our way.
One of our comedic contributors to the show, CRS 98.
The Geo Travelers.
Hackerdoc.
Always a comedic contributor to the show, the Camp Clan.
Here's looking at you, Donners.
One of the first to comment on the something thread this evening. Donners. No, that was Doramore. You had Donners. I read Doramore. You guys are clicking curses around and messing me up, and it doesn't take much.
Doesn't take much.
Get us back on track, Land Monkey.
Tick a magnet.
Trexer Zero.
GeoNav Pros.
Genies.
Cav Mekti.
Keats 94.
Stepping in dog bombs, 3 hams in a rows.
Fairwood West.
Wet Coaster.
Log work.
Team Noltex.
On a boat.
T. Sayer.
Greenwords.
Beach.
Boomer 365.
B. Pendragon.
M-Nerve.
LG 9000.
You, Dak.
Subway Mark.
And the master of numbers himself, Limax.
The Seebeck Tribe.
MC3 Cats.
Kid Vegas 19.
And our newest, Ari 54321.
Blast off.
Something's supposed to happen there. I don't know what it is.
Oh. Well, tune in next week to find out.
There you go.
But in the meantime, you can reach all of us, the 3s of us, at cachingnw.com/hosts. And you'll find social media links and all kinds of stuff there.
All kinds of stuff.
Folks, is it still a new segment or has it been around long enough? This segment we call At Last.
At last.
What is last, you may ask? Well, it's listeners ask some things. And you ask some things, we answer. But we would like your questions. call into 253-693-TFTC or email your last question ever to feedback@cashingnw.com. Tonight's question, are you all seated? Okay. What's the largest vehicle you have ever driven?
How far?
I think if you've been behind the wheel and it's moved, you've driven it.
I've driven tractor trailers around inside a yard to loading docks and whatnot, but not on the street.
Wow.
Largest on the street was like a 26-foot box truck, and that was across multiple states. So
I'd say both of those count. That's some big vehicles.
So
How
yeah,
about you?
I've driven I think it's a 36-foot RV. That's it's a bit of a thing to handle.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Oh, Donna's driven a ferry.
Oh,
She wins. Oh,
Uh,
it's a BC ferry.
there you go.
Double axle bucket truck,
That's pretty big.
Penske moving truck, moving van,
mm-hmm.
5-ton U-Haul.
There you go. Lots of
Decent.
moving vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've driven full of drinking. Does that count? Oh,
Yeah. Ari says, I'm glad somebody figured out what the 54321 means in my caching name. I've written it thousands of times and still don't know why. Sorry. Okay. So,
did you see though that Starcacher said that we should put Boomer after?
oh,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Boomer.
Boomer 365.
365 there.
Well, it'll happen one day, just it's randomized each week. So it's going to happen.
I think Wet Coaster's got a pretty good entry into the largest vehicle you've ever driven. The HMCS Assiniboine.
Okay.
It's 111.6 meters long, 12.8 meter beam, displacement of 3,051 tons with a deep load. So that's a Canadian Navy ship for those who aren't following what we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's big.
That is very big.
That's big.
Was it driven though, or did you pilot it?
Oh. CRS 98 was a 15-passenger van. There may have been an accident involved that wasn't my fault.
I've driven many of those. The school I used to work for did field trips to Mexico every spring. And, I can neither confirm nor deny that a rutted dirt road with a high school senior student in the very back seat may have impacted the ceiling going over bumps too fast. She's fine, really. She's okay.
She doesn't remember who she is, but that's
no.
It's a learning experience.
She always wears a seatbelt now. Just saying.
I'm trying to.
I have driven a school bus, not very far.
Yeah, I've done that.
I have been in the engine of a train. So that's pretty big. I wasn't actually driving it, but I was up in the engine when it was being driven. I was
in the wheelhouse of the Mark Twain steamboat at Disneyland.
There you go.
Got to pull the whistle, but didn't actually pilot it. But.
I've driven a snowcat, but it's not.
Oh, it's
not
pretty large.
It's large. I mean, it's not as big as a lot of these other things. It's unique though.
Mm-hmm. Airplane?
I have not driven an airplane.
Yeah. I've been in the cockpit of an airplane. Now it was in a museum, but I still count that.
I have been in the cockpit of a airplane pre 2001. Back when they would let us do that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the cockpit of the Goodyear blimp one time on tour. That was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was on the ground. We didn't fly anywhere, but
still,
that's
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. All right.
You Talks to Rock says, oh, thanks for saying that. My dad let me start up and drive a train engine when I was 9.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you want
And
to,
Three Ham says, well, as a kid, I was in the cockpit of a 747 en route from Hong Kong to London.
And that's the kind of experience I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
talking about driving a train engine, I went down some rabbit hole on YouTube not too long ago and watched about a 25 or 30-minute video of somebody starting an old classic steam engine, pumping the, stoking the fire and shoveling coal and oiling and greasing things like you wouldn't believe for half an hour. It took a lot of work to get one of those things from stone cold silent to up and running breathing machine.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not just something I'm going to go out and go get some bread. I'll be right back.
No.
No, I've been in. So we've got an old steam train. I don't think they're running it. Well, they're obviously not running it right now, but I don't think they've been running it for a few years. But called the Royal Hudson up here, that would make a run from Squamish area in British Columbia, and I had been in the engine of the Royal Hudson when they fired it all up and got it going, and it is quite the deal. It's neat. They shovel a bunch of coal in, and then they throw a flare in with the coal to ignite the coal, because you can't just throw a match in with the coal. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Do they throw it in with flare?
Oh yes.
Okay. Team Noltex wins. I drove my parents crazy as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny.
I've driven several people to drink, I think. But it's different.
Too funny.
Oh, okay.
Stuff. Lots of stories coming.
I'm really starting to like this segment. It's such good interaction from our listeners. So thanks everyone. That makes it fun for me.
Indeed.
And I'd like to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or come spring our clocks ahead forward 1 hour, especially that one blinking 12.
Oh, yeah.
Any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Give us a thumbs up or a very coveted review. The show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2021 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
Oh, it almost kind of finished normally.
You have to prime the pump on that one.
Oh, okay.
It didn't get enough oil.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm going to step out of frame a second to look for something.
All right. Well,
It was bye. Okay. Now, if we can't see him, he can't hear us. That's the way it works, right? When kids cover their eyes, the parents can't see them, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I've been watching land monkeys sip out of that mug all evening, and I just had to go grab my cup too.
I don't.
Cheers, my friend.
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
And you guys have chapstick, and I
Well,
don't.
yeah, we got to use chapstick here too.
It is a prize.
Still got
Is
it.
it?
Nobody's won yet. And of
Ugh.
course, the hair tonic here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Too funny.
That stuff don't move.
yeah. You got to get it surgically removed somehow.
Mm.
I
That does
don't
not
know how a hospital does that. Hey, let's see. In the after show,
Yeah.
using the hashtag FATAS and properly spelled, I might add. Keats94 says Keats94's geocaching adventures heard back from GCHQ about the Trans-Canadian. Oh, has.
That's a question. It's from GSM times 2.
There's
Keats.
the has. Sorry, I missed it. Yep. All right, go ahead. Somebody else read it.
No, Chris,
Oh,
you have to
do it.
now do it correctly. Start over.
GSM times 2 would like to know. Has Keats94 geocaching adventures heard back from GCHQ about the Trans-Canada Highway Adventure Lab series?
Much
it-
better.
Was that even
Anytime I read Keats94 geocaching adventures, I assume a new episode is coming out.
That's
Yes, a
later
new
in the
episode
FATAS
goes
then.
live at 10 a.m. tomorrow on 2 wheels to Stanley Park.
That's right.
Vancouver has some excellent bike paths. Check out my channel for more episodes.
There you go.
That's good because that's the closest we're going to get in the U.S. for a little while
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
to Stanley Park.
But the question from GSM times 2 to Keats 94 was whether he had heard back from GCHQ about the Trans Canada Highway Adventure Lab series. And I believe the answer from Keats was that no, he has not yet heard back from them. But if I'm incorrect, update me.
But I want to say he's heard from several people who are interested in helping.
I think so. I hope so, because I think there's a lot of people keen about doing this. So kind of curious what the holdup is with HQ.
Yeah. Let's see.
Only
We
we-
also have a FATAS from Limax who Wits End apparently was using a steam engine
Yeah.
because he said he tried to do a 700-mile road trip last Friday to find 8 caches. I ran out of steam after 500
Oh.
miles. Still had a great day.
Wow, that's a long road trip.
He showed it to me and I'm like, that's how long is that? 700 miles for 8 caches. That's commitment right there.
Yeah. I did 700 miles a day in a truck a couple of summers ago. I was tired because then I did 700 the next day and then 700 the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
There you go. Speaking of Keats 94's Geocaching Adventures a new episode of This is Planet Earth dropped today. And it's a great one. It's episode 5. And Keats and I had an absolutely fantastic chat. You definitely have to go and check that one out. It was really, really good. I'm just trying to bring up
have you
the.
considered trying to launch the episodes rather than just drop them? I mean, maybe they would go farther. I don't know. Just
I don't know. We'll see. But no, this was it's Matt Dawson from the Geological Society of America joined us, and he's the education programs manager. And we talked about all of his best tips for people who are interested in placing Earth caches, but also he explained how the GSA is involved in the whole concept of Earth caching, and he went into the planetary
Pursuit.
no
Oh,
yeah.
that's
that's
different.
that's
different.
Planetary geology.
Planetary Geology on Earth initiative, and explained a little bit more about that. So it's a fantastic episode. I definitely recommend checking that out.
Cool.
So yeah, what else have we got here? Donna wants to know, Chris, if that's SpongeBob on your shirt.
That's not SpongeBob, but it's from the Hunger Walk, and it's supposed to be a bag of groceries, but it is kind of disturbing looking. It's sparkly because there's green. It's got
Yeah.
like green,
Chroma key. We can see right
leaf.
through you.
like carrot tops and things coming out of the top of the bag. So it chroma keys out, and
Good old.
I have a hole in my heart.
There you go.
Yeah,
Dora,
but it's a disturbing bag of groceries.
especially the fact that you can see through your body with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dora Moore has a great FATAS here, and she wants to know if there's any new ETA for the trackable on the Mars rover. I think it was supposed to come out this morning.
Yesterday it was supposed to come out. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And so it sounds like the whole thing is broken and they'll never see it again.
That's it. Oh, well.
Or it'll come out tomorrow. It's somewhere between those two.
Okay.
Somewhere between tomorrow and never. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny. All right. There's been some feedback. Where is it here? Related to Keats's inquiry around the Trans Canada.
Mm-hmm. This
it's,
one. So
yeah.
they Seebeck tribe reached out to Ari. Ari's a lackey. Shh, don't tell anyone. And said, "Is there anything you can do to help?" And he says that those are handled by Gear Guru, so he doesn't have any info or pull in that department.
And I think GSM Times 2 said Gear Guru's currently working out of state. So that's probably why there's some delays.
Yes,
Ah,
okay. That was the Jeff he was referring to.
Yeah. There you go. Dora Moore says, oh, what do you got? 3-day delay due to space lag in transmission.
That's good.
Nice one, Houston, Texas. Dave. Dora Moore, talking about the This is Planet Earth episode, said that she met Matt Dawson in Iceland and learned how to do sprangen with him. So if you're wondering what sprangen is, I think you're going to have to ask Dora Moore.
Okay.
Dora Moore, what is sprangen?
There you go. Just like that. Well,
There you go.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Oh,
I don't know.
I'm not sure who this question is for. Ari wants to know what your bad experience is with waymarking. Oh, that's
Chris
for,
said-
that would be for
Chris
Chris.
said
So-
that, yeah.
Wits End and I have a joke amongst us. It was from a movie. Was it from The Italian Job? I can't remember what. There's a line in it, or it might have been a Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
yes, it was Italian Job.
Italian Job. Okay.
Where he was trying to. They were supposed to go have
Do something with dogs.
and there was dogs in the yard, in the front yard. He goes, "You need to go up there." He goes, "I'm not going in there. There's dogs."
I don't do
Come on.
dogs.
Yeah, I don't do this. I had a bad experience.
Well, what do you
Okay.
mean? I
Yeah.
had a bad experience.
That's right. I
So
forgot about that.
That's kind of our phrase we use back and forth. I had a bad experience.
So that's the answer to Ari.
It's kind of the look. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, we're not going there.
So I'll say it. I don't mind. It's just us. Nobody's really listening. During the original GPS maze, we're sitting at tables there in the Pacific Science Center. I get a geocoin. Not this one. I get
Hold,
a
please.
geocoin signed by Jeremy.
Bush.
one of the lackey coins is like, I saw somebody do that, and that's a brilliant idea. I want to do that. And I thought I had it right here, but I have another copy. And we're milling about our table amongst ourselves, and a lady comes up to us and says, "Hi, my name is Rose. I'm a waymark." Okay.
Like,
Suddenly I don't want to do waymark. I don't want them to come to me. That's no fun.
and thanks you, but I don't care.
And just is like, here, discover me. Like, whoa, back off. I'm not comfortable with
She
this.
was a little pushy.
The human trackable thing? Is that?
Well, but it was a human
It's not
waymark.
exactly the same, but
Yeah.
It was unusual and it made us uncomfortable. We had a bad experience.
Gotcha. Oh, too funny.
There was, speaking of waymarks,
Yes.
he said before, I was looking for the, several years ago, he created a couple of waymarking categories, and he still gets 2 or 3. Here we go. We set up a couple of waymarking categories many years ago. I still get 2 to 3 approval emails a month. Haven't actually gone out looking for any in years, but it's still a thing with some folks.
There you go.
Apparently 5.
Yeah, waymarking has. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it has a renaissance, but Nick from Cashly did a waymarking app, Waymarkly, I believe it's called. So, it's maybe with a new app, some people will get into waymarking again.
Hey, you never know.
Makes sense. Ari likes your story.
It's better than anything I could have asked for. I'm a
There you
waymark.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care.
All
You
right.
politely tell somebody just thank you, go away.
Well, with that, should we thank you and go away?
Yes,
And you should get out.
and get caching.